Welcome to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast, a Shadowrun 4th edition actual play podcast.
I am Simon. I play Bertha Huggins, aka Huggy Bear.
I'm Al, or Draenor. I'm playing Mav or Maverick.
My name is Les, and I will be playing Muren.
I'm Hannah, or Ardwin. I play Slipstream.
My name is Jack. I'm going to be playing Toiger.
Hello, I'm Michael, and I'll be playing Sunshine.
And my name is Rhydian. I am the GM. If you would like to follow our runner's journey through 2072's New York, please feel free to check out the link to our living campaign map in the show notes. Additionally, if you would like to submit any new locations or create background information for any of the districts, details on how to submit this can also be found in the show notes. The following content may contain themes and material not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Last time on the podcast, after wiping the 39 Ragers off the map with the help of the Havoc Gargoyles, the team managed to rescue Abby, and now have both Frankie and his comlink in their hands. Time to go and make some deliveries.
Huggy is going to ask everyone if they can see anything else that is worth taking. You know, any clad sticks, any weapons that are going to be easy to pass on.
Could everybody just give me a perception check who is searching, and I will go.
I'm searching via Grendel, so should I use his perception?
Is it running on autonomous?
No, I'm going to switch. Once this is over, I'll be putting Gretel and Hansel on auto and code simming into Grendel.
If you could give me your rigged-in perception for Grendel, please. I've gotten rolls from Mav and Muren.
Ironically, its perception is better when I'm not jumped in.
Alright, so I'm still lacking rolls from Toiger.
In the van, sort of vegged out. I was going to say, just on a whim out of curiosity, can I have the Spirit of Beasts ascend the area?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's very unlikely to be anything, but you know, you never know.
If you give me a perception roll, because it's perceiving on the astral rather than reading an aura.
Perception.
It tells you that there's a few auras that are fading from people who are dying. The astral here is not particularly nice. There's just an underlying sense of simmering anger and resentment, but beyond that, nothing noteworthy.
Very well done. Good kitty. You can go back to wherever it is you are when you're not here now, if you like.
It dematerializes. To get an idea of what the astral here is like, has anybody ever seen the movie Human Traffic?
No, and that doesn't sound like a movie I particularly want to see.
It's actually a really good movie. It's about the early 90s ecstasy and rave scene in South Wales, of all places.
Okay, that sounds not what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's not what I was expecting.
There's one bit where there's two guys sat on a sofa, and one of them had a little bit too much to smoke and is getting really paranoid, and just turns around to the guy next to him after they've been having a happy conversation and goes, "Sometimes I look into your eyes and all I see is resentment." That's what the astral's like here.
Just this constant miasma of sad, impotent anger at nothing in particular.
Yeah.
It just sits there and doesn't do anything.
Sounds like racists.
So, what else are people doing?
What do we find?
Well, Huggy will be, as I said, Huggy will be looking around, making sure that everybody is actually as dead as they look. Making sure that the people that we want to be alive are not as dead as they look. And that anything that is worth taking is taken.
Okay, so in terms of what you get, I'm going to say that the guys who were in the room where the grenades went off, everything is fucked. But you get yourself 6 Ares Predators and 6 Remington 990 shotguns. You get 2 clips for each of the Ares Predators.
think the weapons we can give to the gargoyles.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that makes my life easier. You get about 300 new yen on assorted cred sticks.
I think maybe Elf Chick should have 300 new yen on her pockets. I mean, she has more than earned it.
Yes, seconded.
Thirded? Yep.
I tripled.
I'm not going to object to that. She's had a fairly shit day.
Is there any decent booze lying around? Maybe a little bit of vodka made by my favorite bank?
Decent booze.
So these guys look like they drink anything other than their own piss.
Not really.
I kid you not, Russian standard vodka. Their bank, same branding. I don't know who's rinsing money for him.
So it's mainly Soywiser and Synthahol. There's nothing good in here.
It's white lightning of Awakened World.
I mean, yeah,
It's not even that good.
it's cheap dreck that gets you trashed.
Well, I mean, they are trashed, so they have their heart's desire.
There's also scattered around the room in various baggies. There's about 500 new yen in miscellaneous assorted street drugs. So there's some weed, there's some bliss, there's a little bit of cram and jazz that they didn't get a chance to take.
I know someone who would appreciate the jazz. Because he does appreciate the jazz, so, maybe he will forgive me for waking him up.
Aw, that's sweet.
You get about 4 doses of jazz and about, say, 10 doses of bliss, and say about 300 in like weed and ecstasy and stuff like that.
So, while everyone's looting this place, Toiger's gotten out of the van and he's just sort of wandering around in the main room. Is the finger still embedded in the pool table?
Yeah. No, unless anybody's taken it out, there's just the finger from a cyber hand with a hand razor sticking out the end, just jammed in the pool table.
There isn't any more. Toiger's pocketed it.
You're taking trophies.
Yes.
Weird, but okay.
It's shiny.
So what are we doing with this gentleman? Hansel turns her gun towards the living ganger.
It wasn't part of the job. I don't care what you do.
I mean, if any of you want him dead, kill him. His gang's fucked. Let's just go.
Yeah, we turn him over to the gargoyles as well.
Yeah.
Is their problem
And
now.
we will leave him to their tender mercies.
Not Frankie. The guy who's currently cowering in a puddle of
It's a
his
blood.
friend's body parts.
Miscellaneous body fluid.
Vinny and Dienka grab him, one by an ankle, one by a wrist, and just start dragging him out into the street.
Well, this is going to be worth watching.
So, are you guys grabbing Frankie, or are you...
Yeah, Frankie's coming with us.
At this point, Huggy is going to step out of the van.
What are you doing with Abby?
Abby, we're going to take out...
Respectfully leaving her curled up on the pool table with 300 new yen in her pocket, or...
Nope. We're going to give her to one of the random gargoyles and say, take her somewhere decent and look after her when she wakes up.
No, we're not. We are going to take her to... I believe there was someone whose friend she was. In that case, Huggy is going to put her up in the van.
Yeah, that's what we get. Sunshine calls her friend.
Yeah, so we'll say that Sunshine phones Abby's friend and he comes round and he gives her, basically puts a slap patch on her and says, look, we'll get you home, etc, etc.
She gets a slap patch from the van.
She's going to feel like shit for a few days, but...
Oh, yes, but she's going to feel a lot less shit than if we hadn't done this.
Yeah. So, are you guys taking Frankie over to the van to be taken away?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes, and now that he doesn't have we don't have the worry of him, accidentally bleeding to death. So you can take off his hamstrings now, Slipstream, if you want to.
I mean, I have decorated him. Oh, yeah.
Toiga takes trophies, Slipstream leaves them.
That seems fair.
I mean, I feel that this guy does not need use of his feet, so maybe I shall break bones with pommel of sword.
That seems like a good idea. It means just in case something does go wrong and he tries to run, he doesn't have any feet to run on.
Yes, he cannot. Yes.
So much more fun when they try to run away on broken feet.
Yes, that is true. You weren't the person I was expecting to say that.
Well, the rest of us thought it was implied, huh? Punching Nazis is, like, totally fine.
You guys are sick, you know.
What? He's a racist. They're not people, you know that.
Yes.
So as you guys head over to the van and you put Frankie, not particularly gently, in the back, the gargoyles, 4 of them are holding this ganger. They've got 1 limb each and they're stretching him out. They're all pretty big orcs. And the rest of them are taking turns at taking a run up to kick him in the bollocks.
But that's not quite where I was expecting this to go. I was expecting this to go, do you know the ancient Persian execution method?
The one with the horses and the ropes and the running in opposite directions.
Yes, I was expecting that, but with motorbikes.
I mean, they're taking their time over kicking him to death.
The evening is young.
Fair enough, if that's what they want to do.
I wind down window and it's like, hey guys, bonus points for splitting Wiener in half, duh?
One of them takes you a moment to realise it's a lassie. You realise that she spent a bit of time to find one of Frankie's lost fingers and she superglued it to the toe cap of her boots just as she's taking her run up.
Yes. That's his spirit.
Toiga waves his finger at her.
That is ingenious, and I want that woman to that woman deserves a point of edge.
Like, you would quite like woman to do unspeakable things to you, duh?
What?
Unspeakable things to someone.
Driving away from Crown Heights with Frankie secured in the back of the van, you text the numbers the gang has provided you and head to the parking garage in a nearby abandoned part of Port Morris, which that's in the Bronx. It seems closed up from the outside, but there's an elf with an acid green bandana hanging out on the corner, having a smoke, and he nods to you and points towards a security door that an orc in red, black, and white is opening. So you drive into the parking garage, and it's one of those ones where you have to go round, and round to go up and up like a multi-story car park. And you arrive on the 6th floor, where the gang has told you in the text to meet. There's about 10 of them from each gang, so there's Ancients, there's Sons, and there's the Dwarf Gangers there, all with their bikes. And there's also a beaten-up Bulldog step van.
There are now 2 beaten-up Bulldog step vans.
And I'm assuming Muren's car as well.
Yeah.
The Muren mobile.
I hate it and I love it.
Well, Huggy will get out of the van, and I think we get Muren to carry him.
Happily.
Muren is certainly the strongest of us.
The troll and the elf stood not exactly shoulder to shoulder, kind of. They don't want to not be able to see each other. There's not enough trust there for that. They kind of nod to you, and the elf says, I see you got delivery for us.
One racist, still alive as ordered.
Kinda carry him by his neck, just kind of jiggle him around. Still kicking.
He looks at him and says, 2 minutes. Dave? And a guy gets out of the step van. He's in Ancient's colours, but he's got like magic sigils on him. He's pretty obviously a mage. Comes over, puts his hands on the guy's head and says, yeah, he's still alive. Just.
Mav looks slightly guilty.
He tried to make...
This was agreement, duh? You can question him when he wakes up. There is no penalty for slight little extra damages that we do. In fact, I had the impression it was, if not required, then encouraged.
The big troll, the leader of Sons of Sauron, just sighs and says,
Just get on with it and heal him already.
The mage kind of looked at, yes, Dave the mage has a moment where he looks at the Ancients ganger, who just kind of looks at him and says, "You heard what the man said?" And he shuts his eyes for a few moments. Then Frankie just has one of those moments where his head goes back and his whole body sort of convulses for a few seconds, and you can see wounds stitching up in front of you. It looks like there's a little bit of a moment where his body actually tries to heal the cyberware, which is that's a little disturbing. But he eventually just gasps and goes and looks around, and then just goes pale as he sees the two gangers in front of him. The Sons of Sauron guy just leans down, takes him by the chin between thumb and forefinger. His thumb covers most of Frankie's cheek, and just says,
Good morning. We're wanting a conversation with you.
I think your friend might find it interesting to know that this gentleman was trying to use a young elf girl as a hostage, and was threatening to do rather unpleasant things to her.
I see. Well, in that case, I think you get the first turn. I think these are yours.
and he and the elf both hand you a stack of cred sticks. There's basically enough for the agreed upon amount there, but it's split up across like several. They've clearly shaken down a bunch of people to get this scratch together at short notice.
There's been a whip round.
Yeah.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Just as you're leaving, his one remaining hand, they've wrapped that up in chains, and there's an orc pulling down on the chain that's been slung over like an I-beam in the ceiling. And the troll, just as Muren... I'm going to say that Muren's car's the second one to leave, and Muren just glances in the mirror and notices that the troll's pulling out a combat knife and the elf is just unslinging a monofilament whip.
Nice.
So as you leave the parking garage, having dropped off your first package of the night, you head over towards Hunt's Point, which is also in Southern Bronx, for your second drop-off of the night. It's very, very different to what you've been dealing with for the rest of the time you've been on this job. There's rows and rows of corporate housing and office blocks of about 15 stories, with clean and bright shops occupying their first and second floors. The AR is pinging off the tags in your clothes in soft tones, showing happy families with smiling faces to offer you a new wardrobe suitable for office wear, perfect for the person moving up in the world, and something better than whatever the hell it was you ate in Crown Heights.
We should probably stop somewhere with a gas station or something like that, with a shower to quickly spruce ourselves up a little. I doubt these people want us turning up covered in gore.
A laundromat would be a favourite.
You make a good point.
I now just have the beautiful image of a Shadowrunning team sat there in their skivvies in the laundromat.
A trail of blood leading up to one of the washing machines.
I think some of you need to go in the washing machine with the clothes, honestly. You were right up in there.
There is one moment where this little old lady comes in and just has this moment of, I'm not gonna ask, and she is just pointedly ignoring you while she is loading up the machine and putting the detergent in.
Slipstream, can you imagine how awesome Slipstream looks without shirts?
At this point, Huggy, having had somewhat of a long night, is just going to go, well, I've got some eye candy, and is not even pretending not to stare.
But Toyga was in the van the whole time. His clothes are pretty clean, but he is sitting next to one of the washing machines, cleaning his fingernails with what is obviously somebody's cyber finger.
Huggy will be cleaning off the bone.
What kind of area are you doing this in? Are you doing this in a nice part of town, or are you going?
No, we're doing this in a shit part of town.
We are doing is this in one of the shitty parts of town.
Just checking.
Where they're used to people walking
Yes.
in with blood on their boots and cleaning it off. Well, we're not going to get arrested for it.
There's a point. Is there a shoe shiner nearby?
Not in this district, but there might be in the district you're heading over to. So Hunt's Point being an A-rated security zone, So you're driving in from Port Morris. I'll say you just find a laundromat in Port Morris, which is an E-rated area. Once you arrive at the office building, at the door, a uniformed doorman nods to you and directs you to the elevator. The ride up feels slightly surreal as the AR feed plays a loop of smiling parents of all metatypes with metahuman children, while the armoured and booted runners who just indulge in a little bit of ultra-violence and casual human trafficking ride up to the 12th floor. As the doors open, you're met by the larger of the two orcs that you saw at the start of your evening behind Margaret, the slightly scary little old lady who gave you the job, who looks you over and nods. Mum's in her office. I'll show you where to go. He tells you as he turns to lead you through the dark, open-plan office. It seems that Mothers of Metahumanity, better known as Mom, treats her staff pretty well in contrast to the Corp office across the street that you can see into, where harassed customer service agents sit at their desks taking calls. When you enter the office, Margaret is sat behind her desk, her suit jacket slung carelessly over it, and a glass of whiskey on the rocks held against her temple. Meanwhile, her other son is lying back on the couch, the data jack trailing from his neck and plugged into a cyber terminal. Please tell me you have the data, or better yet, the rancid streak of human pride gutter trash's comm unit, she asks you as the door opens.
Aaron's gonna dig into his pocket, take the comlink out with a flip. One comlink as ordered.
She takes it between thumb and forefinger the way that a 1950s housewife wearing thick rubber gloves would pick up something that the dog left on the carpet.
I mean, yes, because it's not tomato ketchup.
We cleaned it before we handed it to her. We did not hand it to her, still covered in blood and piss.
You gave it a once-over with some wet wipes.
Oh please, we at least went and got some of those sterilizing wipes you use on the floor.
Did I remember to take it out of my pocket when we were at the dry cleaners?
I'm going to say that Sixth World comlinks are much better with this kind of thing. They could survive a trip through the wash. Oh, I could be such a bastard to you there. Oh, it went through the laundrette. No data, nobody gets paid.
If nothing else, I suspect that the washers detect comlinks before you turn them on. All of us turn to Muren like, what the fuck?
Oh, that would be absolutely beautiful. But no, you are okay. Sixth World comlinks are. A phone in the Sixth World is a little bit better able to cope with this sort of thing.
Wait, why does Muren know he's still using a car with an aux connection?
She opens a drawer in her desk and pulls out 6 cred sticks that she places on the table in front of her and says, "Excellent work, ladies and gentlemen. Please avail yourself of the bar. My son and I need to have a brief discussion. Depending on what we find on here, we may have some further work for you." And she walks over to the orc who sat on the couch, or lying on the couch, shakes his shoulder. Dean. What? Huh? They're here. I need you to crack this. Oh, okay, Oh, Mum, please don't wake me up when I'm in the middle of dealing with IC. Ow. Oh. Okay, yeah, I'll deal with it. And he plugs into it and just straight up conks out again. I'll say that Sunshine plugs in and starts cracking open the comlink with him.
In that case, I'm going to head over to the bar and see what's available. Probably not drinking Hurg.
There doesn't seem to be any Hurg, but there are some very, very nice spirits. We're talking 100 new yen a bottle plus.
Well, if it's serve yourself, then I will pour myself a generous helping of one of the fancy ones.
As she's sitting down with her whiskey again, she looks to Slipstream and says, "Do I know you?
Well, it is a possibility.
I've seen you before." Oh, I know exactly where I've seen you. I did rather enjoy your performance as Karl Hefner in The Rise of Dunkelzahn.
Yes, it's one of my favorite roles.
I do, however, feel that the ballerina playing Nadia Daviar, she should have brought more fire to the role. Her performance was somewhat underwhelming.
She was understudy for Day. I mean, prima ballerina had unfortunate incident.
I see. It...
You know how things are. There is much competition.
Indeed. However, I can see why she was the understudy and not the prima. However, your performance was most excellent. I did enjoy it.
Thank you very much. And I do hope you will come to the City Ballet again, and maybe I can introduce you to dancers after, or maybe before, when they smell better, the performance.
She smiles and says, they do have that glow about them afterwards, though.
Yes, this is true.
So, yeah, she basically just makes small talk with you guys for a little while. And eventually, Dean sits up, grins, and looks at his mum and says, I've got it. Dean, we're going to need a little bit more information than it. What do you have? Tell you what, Mum, I'll ping it over to you. You have a look through it in AR. It's a lot easier to just show it to you than explain. All right, come on, show me. So she excuses herself for a few moments, and she's kind of scrolling through AR windows, and eventually closes them all down and looks at you. This was some excellent work. I believe we have what we need, and I have another job for you. So the time now is 4 a.m. I have 2 hours to sleep before I have a meeting with the governor tomorrow. I will need this done by 9 a.m. It's Monday now. 9 a.m. on Tuesday. We are sadly on a tight schedule, and as such, I'm happy to offer each of you 5,000 new yen for some retrieval of data and potentially unwilling personnel from a Humanis Safehouse. Are you willing to accept, or do I need to make some phone calls?
So you are asking if we would like to beat up more Nazis.
Well, they're not exactly Nazis, however, the sentiment is similar, I believe. There's a little bit... If we're going to get into semantics, technically with Nazis, there's the whole Aryan pride. They're just human pride. Same bulldrek, different era, but let's at least be precise about things.
They are neo-Nazis, go.
We're in.
Do you have any information?
What are the constraints of this job?
I believe if I answer your friend's question first, she nods at Muren, about the location, then that will explain our constraints slightly more. So, it's a safe house that Humanis appear to use when the members have a little bit too much heat upon them. And it's hidden beneath a community centre in the Georgetown area of South Brooklyn. One moment, please. She has a moment where she flicks through some AR windows and says, yes, it is the one I thought it was. This community centre is sponsored by Humanis. They use it as a soft front to raise funds for their other community projects. It's usually relatively mundane. They have a policy of what you might call soft discrimination to improve the lot of the humans whilst leaving the rest of metahumanity behind. The data we need is stored on an air-gapped system, which is why we need you to go in. Otherwise, I would simply ask Dean to do so. He's rather good at this sort of thing. So we need you to grab it on a data chip. If there's anybody else hiding in the safe house, I will give you a bonus of 2,000 to bring one of them back to me alive. Shall we say that I know people that are somewhat good at getting results. I would prefer that no one is killed, but I know what I'm asking for and the likely outcomes. But once again, there is to be no collateral damage. I consider the people within the safe house to be expendable, everyone outside it to be a civilian, even if they do have humanist links. Most members of Humanis are fools, but it is possible to teach a fool.
I'm sure that we can work within those constraints.
Lovely. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting with the governor in... She looks at her watch. An hour and three quarters before I have to leave here. So I would quite like to get some sleep, for I have not had any since that bomb went off.
I don't think any of us have.
I well understand. Happy hunting, ladies and gentlemen.
Huggy will bow low, finish her drink, and head to the door.
As you bow, she actually stands up and comes over and says, "Kindly do not bow. It is wholly unnecessary and gives others ideas."
I'm sorry, the culture from which in which I was raised was somewhat more formal.
I understand and appreciate the gesture of respect, but it is not necessary.
I should try and remember that.
Lovely.
Well, you hired us for a job. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9.
Okay.
Let's go.
So we are all 500 Muren richer, unless Muren doesn't want to take the 200 for the delivery of...
I'll take it.
You're missing a 0 on everything you say. 5,000 yen richer.
Yes, that's what I meant. We are 5,000 yen richer, unless Muren doesn't want to take the second job.
Why not? If they're going to pay me for a job done, I'll take the money.
You were saying earlier that you might not take it, so just wanting to make sure that was good.
No, I just didn't agree to the job. But the job was but I did the job.
But you did it.
Indeed. And, my car doesn't pay for itself. So that was 5,000 for all of us, right?
Yes. 2,000 for the delivery of Frankie, and 3,000 for the delivery of the comic.
That was 7,000 in total, yeah?
Boom. Rent made.
Oh, there was one other thing. When you were searching the Decker for his comlink, because you did say you wanted to do that, whomever did it found that it was implanted in his head.
That would have been me.
It is now slightly ruined then.
Well, I know because I severed his neck, so his head, it can be salvaged.
You can take it out of there.
Unfortunately, headwear is less resellable.
How much less resellable?
Second-hand wares are shit.
Are you guys heading over to Georgetown?
I think we should all try and get some sleep before we try and do this.
Yes, let's start the recce for this job.
This needs being done by morning. We got 7 hours, is that right?
Tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
We've got, 26 hours to do this. Which is not long, but we can afford to do some recce in the day and then, hit at night.
I think we try and get some sleep now. Do some recce in daylight, then it's not going to be quite so suspicious that there's a bunch of people wandering around.
How many hours are you getting some shut-eye for?
Probably not more than 4.
Okay. Are you just sleeping in the vehicles? Or are you driving anywhere? Because that will take you a bit of time.
I mean, we could find a coffin motel that's on the way. Sleep in actual beds, even if they're shit ones.
Okay, so you guys head to a coffin motel. You've got 26 hours. You've spent 5 of those hours to get 4 hours sleep and to head over there. Just as you're waking up at the coffin motel, Slipstream, you get a phone call.
Hello?
Aurel, where are you?
Well, it is morning. Yes, it is very early morning.
Yes, it is morning, AT. We've got practice. James has sprained his ankle. We need you here now.
Really?
Yes, really.
What will James be doing? Okay, I will get on train.
He was doing a lift with one of the girls, and she sneezed at just the wrong moment, and he twisted it, and it's a whole thing. We just need you to get over here.
Yeah, okay, so...
How soon can you be here? We've got a matinee.
Well, I will be there before matinee starts, because it's... what? Right
Yes,
now
but-
is like... what time?
Yes, but we need to practice before then, AT.
Yes, but what is role?
It's you. It's the lead. We just need you here now, please.
Yeah, so I know role. I will be there. I will be ready for... we can do some practice. I am not James, so we'll not fuck it up. Well, good. I am on way. Don't worry. I am running. I know you cannot hear effort
Come on.
because I am very fit. So, I am at Subway.
Come on, let's be fair to James. It's not entirely his fault if that fragging idiot girl's got a cold. We'll get you a new. Just get here, okay? Just
Well,
please get here.
I have got to train. I'm through gate already. God.
Okay.
Bonjour, moi.
Okay, I'll see you when
I'm
I see
doing
you.
everything that you...
How long are you gonna be?
Depends on train. So, could be
Okay,
probably
don't-
maybe hour.
Where are you at the minute? Are you at home?
I am on way to home.
On way to home from where?
From some place, I don't know. I was not meant to be in today, so I went out. I will
I'm
be
asking-
fine, yes?
I'm asking because the Hellgate's line's got a.
I will not be using Hellgate line. I will be using
Okay.
either A train or Lane 2, I think.
All right, whatever. Just don't use that train line. It's fragged. Just get here.
Yeah, of course.
All right. And the line clicks off, and dude's clearly stressed as shit.
Yeah, well, also, does James sound like Dancer to you? No.
No. All right, so Slipstream's buggering off. So to head over to Georgetown, who is going in which vehicle?
Well, I'll be driving my own.
I want to go in Muren's sweet car.
You're in the car with Muren. I'm going to leave Sunshine undefined because she's not my character and her player is not here. Mav, are you in the car with Huggy?
I'm in the van with Huggy.
All right,
I
cool.
think we'll be changing out the rounds in the drones from regular to gel.
It's the middle of summer. It's kind of hot as well. So, driving into Georgetown, you find yourself checking the date on your comm just to make sure it really is 2072. The boroughs around it with a kind of urban hellscape that you're used to working in all over the city. Gang tags and rampant urban decay with the background wail of sirens. Just with the added fun of the tower blocks that got torched in the area during the Night of Rage that still haven't been torn down, cutting the sky like jagged, rotten tusks left over from when the rioters made their way to Coney Island. But here in Georgetown, it's like you've stepped back in time 70 years before the crash and awakening. The only thing telling you that it's definitely the 2070s is some campaign posters up on lawns urging people to vote for Anthony Powell, the Republican senator for Brooklyn in the UCAS Senate next month. Rows upon rows of two-story brick and white synthwood houses that all look the same make it seriously easy to get lost here, and you find yourself having to park up in a strip mall to reprogram the map on your comlink. Facing you is a gun store with a display of the UCAS flag with a pair of crossed assault rifles and a banner that says, "It's your right," above it. And some locals watching the group of metas that have parked up in their midst with some hard stares. Come to think of it, the only people you've seen here that weren't human was the occasional elf and one dwarf who was operating a dumpster truck. After getting the map fixed, you start to head towards the community centre when you hear the whoop whoop of an NYPD Inc. squad car behind you that flashes its lights, and the driver flashes an ARO at you to pull over. Muren. You sigh as the parking brake crunches into place. He gets out the car, walks over and makes the universal sign to wind down the window. License and registration, and then keep your hands on the wheel, please.
I will take out my fake sim there.
What rating is your fake sin, please?
I believe it's R4.
Alright, so he is going to run it through a sin scan. So you've basically pinged up an augmented reality window for him, and he's running it through his sin checker. He kind of looks you over and says, "So what brings you to Georgetown, sir?"
I've heard it's a lovely neighborhood. Just wanted to stop by, see what's around here.
I see. And how long are you going to be here?
Pretty much just driving through before heading back up north.
You're in the car with Toiga. What weapons does Muren have, please?
I have the combat axe, a survival knife, an Ares Predator with gel rounds, and that's it.
He glances over you and says, "Sir, I'm going to ask you to unbutton your jacket and open the left breast so that I can see inside, please."
Sure thing, no problem. Happy to help.
As you do, I imagine you've got the gun slung in a sort of classic cop Secret Service bodyguard holster, like the underarm ones.
Yes, that's
So, I'll be honest, on a troll, it looks comically small. It looks a little bit like a Derringer, but this thing fires a round that's 10 mil in diameter.
I bought it for my son, I thought he needed a toy.
He doesn't even... There's not even a twitch of the corner of the mouth from this dude. As he looks you over and says, "I'll need to see the license for that, please, sir." He's just completely ignoring Toiga this whole time. He's not asked Toiga for his sin or anything like that.
Of course he hasn't. It's not going to ask a human.
So he takes the ARO and puts it up in front of him, and you can see these in your augmented reality in front of you. And he's comparing them, and he's taking way too fragging long over this. And you're just, what are you doing while he's doing this?
Is there a problem, officer?
He just looks at you and says, "Currently not." And then continues looking at them, and eventually sniffs and, "Enjoy your stay in Georgetown."
Thank you very much, officer, and you have a nice day. Thank you for your hard work. And I'll give him a big, toothy grin.
"I hope your stay is brief but enjoyable." And he turns and walks away.
I'm gonna turn to Tiger. What was that about?
Everything okay over there? You guys have stopped.
It is now. It briefly wasn't, it is now.
This is why you don't put the meta in the driving seat when you're riding through a racist neighborhood.
I was afraid I was going to have to do that. Is there a problem with my driver bit? At which point my skin would have crawled off my flesh and up my neck.
That might not have been the best choice.
Couldn't have been the worst.
Yes, but I think that watching somebody's skin literally crawl off would probably have been worse than seeing a troll in a nice white person neighborhood.
On, we're not that kind of racist.
I suspect these guys are.
The problem is it's a modified car. Who else could drive it? Hey, none of you got legs long enough.
I was very afraid for a moment I was going to have to convince him that his legs were covered in venomous ants, but fortunately we never got to that point.
Ah, wizards.
It's nice when they're on your side.
You keep thinking that, Huggy.
So I guess at this point we're gonna pull out and try to catch up to the other van.
Okay, so breathing a sigh of relief as the cop gets back into his car, you continue on to Veterans Avenue until you can see the Glass and Plasteel Community Centre. I think it's about 9 o'clock you're arriving at, as a big banner slung across the front saying, "Charity drive and bake sale today for the Flatlands Homeless Centre." Around the building and through the windows, you can see lots of shiny, happy plastic people and families milling around tables, and others bringing donations to sell, and others leaving with their purchases and screaming offspring who've smeared their faces in cake. Complications are something you're used to. Drugged up gangers are one prospect. but this is just obnoxious.
We do have until 9 o'clock tomorrow to do this. We don't have to hit while it's an open community centre. So let's not.
This, it seems, is a job for the humans to do.
There, but for the grace of genetics, go I.
Well, I think that having the slightly beaten up step van with the matters in it is outside of a community center is not our best image right now.
No, they'll arrest you.
Let's move on.
So let's not be here. Let's find a more reputable neighborhood to park up in.
Look, there's flatlands just next door. That's a lovely, healthy, e-security neighborhood.
It'll feel like being back home. Well, my home here.
This place feels a bit too much like home. That's part of the problem.
Well, you can be the one to wander around and look at things. Maybe you can get yourself some cake.
Going to need to be strong cake.
Only once in the lifetime of humanity has an offer of cake sounded less nice.
When was that?
This was a trial.
I was thinking let them eat cake, but we were clearly thinking of different things.
Honestly, I'll take my chances with the psychopathic robot. At least it openly wants you dead. These ones pretend.
Don't worry, these people don't want you dead.
Not yet, at any rate. We are still around. We are going to be taking the van out of here and parking either in Bergen Beach or in the Flatlands.
I vote just west of Party City.
We can park just like a couple of blocks in the flatlands. That's right there.
I'm going to say that Muren's dumped Toiger out in front of the community centre and driven off before he gets arrested for loitering or something ridiculous.
I'm totally behind that.
I think it's best that we have dropped off Sunshine as well.
Thank you for listening to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast. We hope that you enjoy the show and look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time for our next episode. Intro is More Human Than Human by Karl Casey, and the background music is also by Karl Casey. Outro music is Neon Thrills by Luck Hash. All sound effects are from freesound.org and credited in the show notes. The Tops Company Inc. has the sole ownership of the names, logo, artworks, marks, photographs, audio, video, and or any other proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Tops Company Inc. has granted permission to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any other proprietary material for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with the Pride Against Prejudice podcast in any official capacity whatsoever. All other works mentioned in this podcast remain the property of their respective owners. The Pride Against Prejudice podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. So if you want to use any part of the show, please give us the credit.